Adam, our friends over at Sellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the DeathPiles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Sellhound, use promo code, capital letters, DeathPiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
It's the greatest time of the week. Death Piles and Taxes podcast number 394, 1700-ish.
And 2.
Well, good to see you here bright and early. I know you got to jet out of here in a bit and go see your favorite buddy, the dentist.
Me and probably got things to do. Another fun podcast that we enjoy, I guess me and the Pelican have, is the You Can Bet on That podcast. And Dr. Mike on that podcast is a dentist. I hated every dentist I'd ever met. I was an anti-dentite until Dr. Mike changed me. So now I'm going to go with a new coat of paint a coat.
Yes.
I'm going to go in with a good positive attitude and we'll see what happens.
Did you say there's a podcast called You Can Bet on That?
Yeah.
You know,
the best, man. You get on that.
You know, we do have that app that's going to happen one day.
If anyone can make that happen, it'd be these guys. But I guess shout out to them. I've been calling guy in their podcast a time or two, but they're a fun podcast if you enjoy recreational gambling at all. And there's your shout out.
Which we do.
We do.
So we also enjoy selling things online, making money.
Yeah, if this is the first time you've tuned into this podcast, you're really confused right now.
I'm looking at my nice, I've got an enclosed case with some cards in there that I'm very excited about. Sounding alert, I got an email today. My first batch of cards from PSA are on their way.
Ooh, did you cheat and look at the scores?
Of course I cheated and look at the scores.
And you're happy.
I'm very happy.
That means you got some good ones.
I got a few 10s, got several 9s.
Ooh.
I'm very excited. For those of you who don't know, I used to go to the thrift stores all the time. I would, look through I went to the bins. I never indulged in the bins.
You go through all the unmentionables.
I do the unmentionables. I'd find clothes, books, McDonald's rugs, which I enjoyed, but it wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. And because of COVID, I was able to switch gears, and I really have gotten this card bug where I'm buying sports cards and doing a lot of that thing, and that's kind of been my little niche.
That's your wheelhouse. That's where you're at.
Speaking of Wheelhouse, do you want to know a good story about Wheelhouse?
Well, would I have brought it up if I didn't?
I was with Dale, a good friend of the show, up to the shop yesterday. I also have a business. We make wheelchairs for people, and he was telling me a story. First, he was a firefighter for a long time. He and the other guy flew out to Pennsylvania to test fire trucks. And they went out testing the fire trucks, and he said like they have a 105-foot fire truck, and they drive the back also. And they were driving, and the one guy says, "Hey, watch out for that Amish buggy." And he did something, he put on the brakes, and the horse went nuts and bucked over and all kinds of craziness. So that was kind of funny, but he was telling me when they flew into Baltimore.
It's funny unless you're the Amish man.
That's true.
Not too funny if you just lost your buggy.
He didn't do it on purpose, allegedly. But they flew into Baltimore, and there was the Tall Ship Festival, and apparently it is these ginormous sailboats, and he got in and he told me about what a wheelhouse was. And I never knew what it was, and apparently in these large ships, I mean, it's a massive room, bigger than this room, and they would have a different wheel that each man would have to, be able to turn to steer these large ships. And he said the one that they were in, there were 6 different wheels, and that's what they said, is you need to be in your wheelhouse so that you would make sure that the boat went in the right direction.
Well, there you go. So, if you're teaching kids school at home,
Bam.
you're done. Just playing that little thing, history lesson is over.
I love that you use the terminology because I never knew what it was until yesterday.
Well, if you're running down Amish people who are trying to get in the wheelhouse, once again, this is the podcast for you.
I totally agree.
Adam, I have to call you loud a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Last week you brought me out, you fired me up, you called me to the carpet. It was a Mel thing. We're not going to get down that road because it's the road to nowhere.
Yeah, we don't want to go there today.
But you said that you went to the post office and you paid in-house for shipping and for insurance.
I did.
Do you not listen to this podcast?
I do.
Do you just like wasting money? Have I taught you nothing?
I know where you're going with this, but when I'm shipping not through eBay, now I know you told me to go to ShipStation. Is that what you're telling me?
Pirate ship, man.
Pirate ship. I'll be flat. I'm lazy. I don't have that many things. I didn't want to sign up for an account. It's very easy for me just to go and.
But the money I just saved you.
I know.
I'm looking out for you. I know them kids are going to want to go to college someday.
You're right.
And they're not going to want to look back and think that Dad squandered all this money that he could have saved.
You're right.
If you're out there, if you're looking for cheap ways to ship, there are other options than going directly to the post office, standing in line, and paying them high premium prices.
And apparently you might get a better chance for insurance and you won't have the discrepancies like Derek is with his postmaster.
It's the same insurance. Doesn't matter, you just paid more for what I got.
Okay.
So if you have a discrepancy, you're looking to save more. I'm trying to save you money.
Well, I agree, but I've got a guy and he really likes me.
He really likes you until he doesn't.
Okay.
Until your wife goes in there and he tells her that you're shipping too much stuff.
Let's keep that can of worms close today.
No, I'm just saying, I was just trying to save you some money.
I will look into that.
Okay, well, I know you're a big card guy. I know this isn't going to be your last shipment.
That is a true statement.
I'm
I've
just-
sent out several batches.
I know you're going to need insurance because you're making those big bucks.
I'm sending in large quantities.
Well, what did you learn from last week?
I don't really want to get. I had another awful conversation with the IRS today, and it just boils my blood when big government bureaucrat agencies just try and pick on the little guy.
I know what you mean.
I know that you know what you mean. I don't want to get down that road again, but I am going to bring this up
Like the post office picking on me.
Yes. The IRS, if you are in this, if you're selling anything online, you need to have a record of it. Like, you're going to have to put it on your tax return. Again, we've talked about it, like everybody thinks, okay, well, I'm doing it cash. Whatever you're doing, if you're bringing in more than $600, you should be putting it on your tax return on a Schedule C. Make sure you have receipts of what you're doing. Use one bank account only, and one credit card only. There is no reason for you to complicate the issue, to have 3 or 4 different, sources of income going into different bank accounts, because if you do, and your income starts to become sufficient, there's quite a few dollars. If you get audited like these people are getting audited, your life is going to suck.
And a lot of paperwork, a lot of trying to prove what you got from where, especially when we're doing yard sales or, you're going to thrift stores, not the best receipt processes, so.
And if you think dealing with the post office is awful, imagine somebody saying, you owe us $40,000, and on top of that, now we're going to do next year's too, and that's another $40,000, and you really have no way of changing anything.
And the whole phrase is, well, prove us wrong, or prove it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're guilty until proven guilty.
Well, I mean, that's what kind of sucks. I've been playing with the managed payment option, or the eBay, not managed payment. What's the payment? The new eBay
The
payment.
new eBay payment instead of PayPal.
eBay payments, is that what it's called?
I believe it is.
Managed payments, something like that. So they have you enter in all your bank information, and I had to look. I use a small local bank, so I had to check my bank's not on the list button.
Ooh,
They have a list of
Yeah.
every bank in the world, except for my bank's not on the list. So I had to put in my my account number, router information, and then they came back with the hey, can you send us over some bank statements, just kind of showing that it's legit. I guess that I'm not just I don't know, laundering money to myself somehow on my own private bank.
I believe it.
So had to get me a screenshot saying, my name. I had to show it had very specific things you need on there: your bank name, your name,
Yeah.
account number,
I've had to do it before also with PayPal.
So, getting that set up. Haven't been accepted in the program yet, but I'm in line.
Okay.
I think everyone should get in line because you're gonna have to do it anyways. So
It's one of those formalities. Eventually, it's going to happen.
it's gonna happen. It's pretty easy if you go over to Seller Hub. You can just kind of. I think mine just had the payment tab.
Yeah.
That's where I clicked on. Just signed up. Apparently, they're gonna be dropping some fees and stuff.
Ooh.
They have no insertion fees, and if you sign up or if you're in line, even less fees. So we're all looking to save some money. We got the fourth quarter that we talked about coming up. We want to save the fees.
I know some people like to refer to it as fee-bay, but I don't agree with that.
You don't? What do you call it?
Well, you got to pay the piper. Like, there's always going to be fees. Like, I mean, if you think about what they are actually doing, they're putting you in a platform in front of a lot of people. And if you feel like you're not making enough money because they're charging more fees, you need to increase your price.
Well, that's it. I see it as they're your agent, right?
Absolutely.
You have all this stuff that you want to sell. You have the big yard sale, your death pile, your home pile, whatever you got. And you can go out and you can put it on the Facebook Marketplace. Because then, I mean, at some point, Facebook's probably going to want a fee. You can put it on, Craigslist, or you can put it on the street corner. But if you're able to put it on eBay, they build the infrastructure so that you have, hundreds of millions of eyeballs that could potentially come and buy that from you. So that's worth a certain percentage.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, they have the platform. They're doing everything. They're putting you in front of. That's a great analogy. The sports agent, the agent, not sports agent, but just agent.
Yeah.
Getting you in front of a lot more people, and if they like what you have, they'll buy it.
Buy it, and they take their cut. And a lot of places, you've worked in businesses and stuff. A lot of people want their cut up front.
Yes.
eBay doesn't make their money until you make your money, so you don't really pay them until you've actually made money.
And that's a great way for businesses, prove what you're worth. And if, again, they like it, then they'll continue to use it, and they do that.
I mean, we're getting away from some of the PayPal. It'll still be an option, but the fees hopefully goes down. Hopefully people make more money. A lot of hopefullys out there, but I'm glad that they got the global shipping in on this, so the payments are, the options are coming. Like the British.
Well, yeah, their options are, the red coats are coming, so.
Yeah.
Well, you got any show notes, or do you want me to go into something, or can I go into something that I've been
Go.
regretting?
Ooh. Well, let's hear you.
Well, you had a request about things that we've regretted as resellers, either things that we've bought, things we didn't buy, things that we should have done differently. And I'm telling you, our buddy Phil, like I said, if you get in there, we've got into the sports card thing. I know it's more of what we got to do, but I regret that I
Venue Sports Cards online. You can look up Phil.
Yeah, Venue Sport. Phil's a great guy.
Buy from him.
It was National Card Day on Saturday. We went in there. He gave us some free Topps cards. Phenomenal place. But
Oh, you didn't call me telling me you was handing out free cards.
it's because I wanted them all.
Wow.
But
I thought we were in a partnership.
you were there 2 days before.
They didn't give me free cards.
Well, that's because you don't buy enough.
Well, we'll compare receipts.
Well, no. The regret is, like I said, I think we really started getting into this. We had our annual yearly festival here in Payson where we live, and there was a guy, an older gentleman, who had an old card shop, and I was like, oh man, I kind of like this, and getting into it, and Derek bought some things. I bought a couple things, but not nearly as much as he did. And I regret that I didn't get full bore onto the game at that point than now what I'm doing, because if I would have done things differently a year ago, this would be a completely different conversation. And what I mean by that is it takes money to make money, but it doesn't though. You can get in at the low level. You can get in and find things free on Marketplace. You can resell without a lot of money. You can sell your own items. Go get that death pile from Granny. Like I said, there's several ways to sell things, but I regret not getting harder, heavier into the card game, because just looking at, like I said, I did the hard work. I sent in a group of cards to PSA, which just means they grade them. It makes the cards much more valuable. I'm just looking at some of the grades that I have. I have 15 cards I sent in.
I've never been so happy to have a grade. This is like report card
This is
in
like
middle
the highest
school.
grades I've ever got.
Finally knew your subject good enough.
But my top 5 cards that I have, looking at the grades, realistically, comparables, I'll be able to sell those 5 cards for at least $1,300.
We got to get excuse me.
On 5 cards that I pulled every single one of them from a pack of cards
That you just bought from
that I just bought from Phil.
Phil's shop.
And I wish, and I said, now I'm getting into, I'm trying to educate myself. The key is education. The key is knowing what to buy. And I guess I didn't have that at the beginning, right? You know, I didn't,
Yeah, you gotta learn it. I mean, we gotta have a friend of the program. We gotta get Mike Painter in here to talk about his cards. But he turned down a figure today for a card that I'm just gonna let him tell when he comes in here. Floored me, and he turned it down. And I said, I don't want to hop all over that one. But, you know, teach their own, and he has confidence in what he has. He sees where the trends are going, and he knows what he wants for it. I kind of have the same thing. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. There's no way to predict that, hey, this Corona thing was going to happen and that sports cards were going to just take off in a year. However, I have kind of the same thing as far as I tell that story about how I sold the sign, right? My first thing.
Did you see the sign?
I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. But my Taylor Hicks sign.
Trevor Hicks.
Whatever his name was. I sell that for, a good chunk of money.
If those of you don't know, basically how it started is back in American Idol was really big. And this is back in the aughts.
This is the early aughts, somewhere there.
Aughts. And Derek found a sign.
Single aughts.
The single aughts. Found a sign at a local area talking about Trevor Hicks, Trent Hicks, Tyler Hicks.
He was a big deal for a short time.
He was going to be performing at a local venue for the 4th of July, and Derek says, wonder what that sign is. He picked it up and he sold it on eBay for $40-50.
And I spent the next years wondering how I could recreate that lightning in a bottle, or how you get into, wholesaling, or in the back of my head, I just wish I'd got into it sooner. I'd have trusted my instincts and just figured it out.
Yeah.
Instead of just staying at the regular job and thinking, man, I need to figure out something. Boy, if Taylor Hicks comes back again, I'm going to buy every poster he has. Oh, next year for the 4th of July, I wonder who they're going to have. I could get the posters for free. I wish I would have figured out the thrifting part, the yard sale part, and just went more into it. Instead of thinking, I have to have a wholesale account.
Yeah.
I have to have $20,000 or something probably to invest. I wish I just went into it and knowing what I know now is, like you're saying, I mean, if you have $200 or $300, legitimately, you can go to, whether it's yard sales, thrift stores, or, retail shops like Adam's talking about. There are items that you can find that you can, you have to be selective. You can't just go and buy, Hungry Hippos with $300 and think that you're going to double that to $600. You have to do some research. You have to use the tools that you have. But there's ways to make that, into a couple $1,000s.
Absolutely.
And that's not insane. That's not impossible. That's not a publisher's clearinghouse. Hey, somebody's going to win, a mindset.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, well, okay, everyone sells, but only one person makes that, that figure. No, that's pretty low figure, actually.
Yeah, it is. And that's kind of what we did. You told me about this. We started the podcast. We started buying, bulk was T-shirts, little different items at the thrift store, which, it was fun, because you're always looking, but we weren't really making a lot of money. I mean, we made about $2,500 selling random stuff, which was really cool.
And part of that was your college experience or your learning.
Yeah.
You made a couple grand learning how to work the system.
It was learning, and if I, again, spent the education, which kind of led me into this, and friend of the show, Brian, basically said, I agree with it. It's not that, I haven't done it in so long. Like I said, I'm sure I'd re-enjoy it by going there, and it's like finding the treasure.
Yeah, there's some thrill to the hunt. I kind of miss yard sales, but it gets to where your time's valued with what you enjoy doing.
But
you're enjoying the card game right now.
But now I'm able to be on my phone and I'm looking at things.
you're buying, but if you took that same attitude when you're gonna get into it, and I said,
absolutely.
Adam, you're gonna have to spend this time, but you're gonna have to spend a couple grand in cards just to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
Versus $10 down at the local thrift store to figure out what you're doing. It's the same process. Once you learn how to list, once you learn how to search, you get results. So, I mean, you can go into that any way you want, but yeah, the point is, after about a year of doing it, you're stoked, you found your niche, you found what you want to resell, and you're getting elbows deep.
We are elbows deep. So that would be my regret. My thing is not getting, I had the instinct, because my thing is, and I told my wife, and she looked at me like I was crazy, I says, I want to go in halvesies with Derek on this, because the guy told me he wanted $25,000, which I was like, nuts. And now looking back, I wanted to go to it and say, all right, Derek, I'll put in 5, you put in 5, let's buy this guy's everything.
Buy him out.
And now going back, I wish that we would have done it.
Well, I mean, some of his cards were in rough shape. I don't know. We should have made him, and maybe he's still got. I mean, we could probably still find him. He's probably still got a storage unit full of something somewhere.
He probably does, but now, again, I think I'm not too late. At the time, I wish I would have invested it. Now I think I've gotten that education that I wouldn't need to. And that's what I tell everybody. Like when you're in these Facebook groups and they're asking questions, should I buy it, should I not buy it? I'm always the guy say, buy it and you will educate yourself on it. You're never going to know, like, if you get a stack of stuff, you're not going to know what it's worth unless you go through the entire thing, pull up the comps on it, and say, oh, wow, this card's worth money, because then you get excited, then you know what to look for the next time.
And is that something that interests you, right? So if you're on the Facebook group and you're like, hey, are these cards worth it? Well, are you into cards? Are you going to spend 8 hours of your life looking up cards and see what they sell for? Or you can go through the steps to get them graded? Are you going to, like, you know, when you have to bring them back and you have to take pictures of them and put them back up on, you know, all these places for sale? Same with video games. Same with T-shirts. Do you like fashion? Do you like video games? Do you like, I mean, there's some things that are fast flips that you can just go scan them, take a picture, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But those are kind of more
fun.
flash in the pan.
Yeah.
They're not going to be around long term,
Yep.
most likely. So, and do you like that? Do you like that treasure hunting game of, hey, I found this is reselling, you know, it's hot right now, I bought out all the store has, and then on to the next. You know, consistency. It just depends. Find out what you like and go for it. Because we're all different.
I will have to say that I put myself on a restricted, on a pitch count, I guess was what the kids would call it. I cut myself off and I says I'm not buying anything else until I get this next 2 orders sent to PSA. Because there was a time in the last month, I really have, I've been sourcing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
My death pile is growing. So I'm trying to get that consistency thing where I make myself submit them to PSA, and then once I get them back, I'll have to list them. But that's going to be the fun part because I know that there's money there, and as soon as that money starts chugging in, that's when it gets impressive.
So you got 5 cards coming back.
15. Well, sorry,
Okay,
I got 15 total, 5.
But the 5 you said were about 1,300.
Yep.
So of that, how much of that is already pretty much? Where's your break-even point on everything else that you've done? Buying, selling, on 5 cards.
So the nice thing that you talked about is with PSA, it's the same thing kind of like as eBay. They don't charge you until they send them back to you. So again, the process is very long. I mean, it's taking, for this order, it took 2.5 months, but this was my first 15. So I don't really have.
It's kind of like that guy on the neighborhood corner. Your first ones are a little faster, it might be free, a little discounted, and then once you're hooked, it's going to take a little longer and it's going to cost you a little more.
So excluding my you know, because every time I send in cards, it's about $12 a piece on every card, and I've sent in some large orders, you know, a couple $1,000 orders, but I haven't got charged yet because of that.
Because they haven't. So as far as what you've invested in cards,
In raw cards, like
just raws, yeah.
In all of my cards that I've purchased, I've probably spent about $750, well, maybe a little bit more than that, probably about $850.
So with these 5 cards,
I'll pay for every
pay
card
for
that I've
everything.
bought.
Plus you have 10 more cards.
Yes.
And that cycle's just going to hopefully continue to be a cash wave.
It's just, I'm hoping every 2 to 3 weeks I'm going to get a new batch of cards. That's my goal. That's my everything. Like I says, I've been filling my wagon. I really, really feel super good about this, and I know I'm going to feel even better about it once they start selling.
Do you think you've got more selective about what you bought and what you're selling than when you started off, even on these first couple batches?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you taught me something very important, and the more and more videos that I watch, it's not necessarily about the card, the grade of the card, it is about the population report. What we mean by that is, it's basically how many of them are out there in the universe. You know, people, they like scarcity, they like rare things, they like things that other people don't have. So all of my cards that I went through, you know, there's my big ones, my big Lucas, you know, my Zions that have larger numbers, but like my Michael Jordans, my Shaquille O'Neal's, those all have very, very low population. I mean, I think there's only 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's that scarcity, and I know you taught me that, putting that in there is, you know, if nobody else has it, then it just makes yours even more valuable.
And that's the same thing when you're checking solds. What Adam's doing I mean, we talk cards, but when you're doing anything with eBay, if you check solds, you can see the amount of people that have sold them and how many are available just by searching it. You know, when you search something, you can see how many are for sale, how many are sold. And it's the same kind of idea as far as if it's a hot item, how many is available.
Yeah.
So is the market flooded? Is there more available? What's the going rate? Supply and demand, right?
And you have to, again, the same thing, you have to make it worth your time and your effort, and if you're having fun. I mean, because like for me, it's a fun hobby that's now turning into something I get paid to do. Where before, when we were buying shirts, I mean, we might buy them for, $1, $2, $3 tops, and then we'd sell it for $20 plus shipping, and we wouldn't make a whole lot of money. We make $15. Now, if I can sell 5 cards and make $1,300, that gets me a little more motivated.
And I mean, that's just where it's at with Adam.
That's my thing.
And then the card market, who knows? Right now, it's really hot. It could turn down to where, at some point, hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. Adam might be buying cards for a couple bucks, getting them graded, and making the $15. That's still what he wants to do.
It is. It gets me excited. But again, same thing. I mean, we went back. We were buying some appliances. I mean, VCRs are always hot.
Yeah, you can never have enough VCRs for some reason.
Backpacks are hot. I mean, my wife bought a lot of clothing. There was a store up here that we found a really good deal on some liquidation clothing. She found some really, really nice, like brand new women's clothing with the tags on it. And she only paid $1 a piece, and she was selling those for $30, $40 all day long until that was the problem. We ran out.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you find that source, and eventually, it's going to dry up. Hopefully, if you can find something that's that perpetual, you can go there. You got your little honey hole that never dries up. Don't tell a single soul about it, and just ride the rails till the wheels fall off. But
Absolutely,
that doesn't happen a lot, even with cards, right? When we first started going, and what happened is we did that thing about a year ago, and then we went on our little football trip, and we went to a card store.
That's right.
And me, you, and Painter all just kind of had our childhood memories coming back, and we started, and we saw these Asian gentlemen that were buying these boxes of cards, and they were on their lunch break, and it was like $100 a box or something.
We couldn't believe it.
And we thought that was insane. They were looking for a Zion Williams rookie card.
Yeah.
And they would just go through these things like, it was like they were counting cards or something down at the casino, go back to the earlier episode, And we're just like, oh, this is crazy. And then we came back and we found Venue Sports and Phil and stuff, and the market from that point to where we're at now, it's just went insane. And that same pack they were buying for $100 a box,
Probably closer to $500, $600, $700
at least.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can find it. So
if you can find it.
So I mean, even at that point, if we would have invested and just said, well, this is gonna go crazy, but you don't know. I mean, if we'd bought those and just held on to them till now, there's no way of knowing the future. And if you do, get a hold of me. So that's been a fun ride, but that's kind of what sparked it, and it seems like nationally that's kind of caught on.
And the thing is we had another person kind of sent me a message about cards and asking some more information. It's not too late. Like it says, it's not too late. Like it says, there's still a lot of room for growth. There's still a lot of room to make money. Again, it all depends on your budget. I mean, I would tell you, do your education, take some time, learn what it is, and then go out and make some money.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you think, we have card shops and stuff, but there's little Walmarts all across the country full of cards.
Yes.
And you can just buy the packs and sell them if you get the right things, without even looking at your liking cards.
And ours are all vacant shelves because I look every time I go.
Yeah, I mean, some of us make the rounds and try to find them, but I'm just saying, it's a big world. It's a big world.
There's a lot of cards out
There's
there.
a lot of opportunity out there.
A
So
lot of opportunity to flip. So that's my regret. That's my thing I wish I would do different. Let's let you think about it for a minute, and we'll catch yours.
I already shared mine.
Okay.
I'm getting into it sooner. My whole Taylor Hicks.
Taylor, you're right. I
mean, if you want me to retell that story when we
No.
come back from the break, I'd be happy to
I
do it.
thought you were going to hold on and tell us about your rock cards. That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, I'll talk about that.
Because I know that,
Now you're gonna just get me all fired up in the break.
No, I just said, there's lots of things that that's the problem. You never know. Like, you never honestly know what the market is going to do.
Until you do know, and then it's too late.
Yeah. There's a reason we call this the DeathPiles and Taxes podcast.
Well, why do we call that, Adam?
Because for the rest of your life, and even the year that you die, you have to file your taxes.
Well, I got a guy that does that for me.
That's right, because here at Adam Up Accounting, that's what we do. We take care of taxes. We're very familiar with online retailers. Even if you're listening because you enjoy the sultry sounds of Derek Everett, we will take care of your taxes. Check us out online, adamupaccounting.com. The social medias, we will help make sure that you file your taxes timely and enjoy the process.
Adam, if we've learned anything the last couple months, it's that we've been paying too much for things. People are looking to save money. That's where our friends over at Visible Mobile come in. People are paying crazy amounts for cell phone service, and they just realized how much money is going out that door. Go over and check out visiblemobile.com. Look at their plans. Look at what they have to offer. If you like it, remember it was us at DeathPiles and Taxes that sent you. You're going to want to use our promo code BBWBQ. They got specials all day long. Just go see what they have, and if it works for you.
Well, great, it's because I have a cell phone and I need to pay less money.
And we're back on in. You've sat through those wonderful, wonderful commercials, and we appreciate it.
Tax time will be coming up. It's never going away, just like our trash.
Well, that goes away. I just have to reapply the ointment every now and
It's
again.
a special ointment.
Speaking of which, Adam, can you lend me a hand? There's a spot I can't reach, and I should have said during the break, but
I'm always here to lend a hand.
boy, you just throw me right underneath that bus, right when I think we're buddies and friends again. You just derail me underneath my own train.
Cool thing, I saw a bus on sale on the Facebook Marketplace for $4,000.
Well, if we all go in, you make it a timeshare bus.
I like that.
Everyone goes in, then we can take trips on it. Most of our trips are getting canceled anyways, so.
Or that could be the new Sprinter van.
And the new Sprinter van will be a school bus. I got the CDL. I think we're licensed to roll.
You're ready to rock and roll.
Well, Adam wants me to tell this story because it's painful and it hurts my feelings. So, some of you might remember me talking about Rocky Maivia, who's now known as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I've heard of him before.
The good thing about doing this podcast is, a lot of times you tell stories and you're like, oh, I was on that trend, or I said that clear back when, and people think, oh man, you're just full of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you can go back and play the episodes where I said this, a year, now it's over a year ago.
As great as this podcast is for everyone else, it's really good for us because
But no, I did say that.
we can timestamp it. Now I have dead center proof that when Venmo requires you to put your information and the IRS is going to track that, I can say, I've been saying that for years.
So,
Brother.
So I was telling everyone about this Rock rookie card that was, if you could find it, get it graded, made me a lot of money. I was selling for like $250, thinking I was just, cutting that fat hog that the boys like to say. And now it's skyrocketed with everything else going on with the card world and whatever. So what I used to sell for $250, I could pick up for next to nothing. I'd get them graded. So I was into them maybe $20. I might have to buy it came with a game. It wasn't even like a real,
It wasn't even a real card. It was a WWE wrestling game.
wrestling trivia game, and it was one of the character cards basically, but it was the Rocky Maivia first edition. So I could usually get them for under $40 for the whole set, and that would be a high one. Yeah, there's people now that are just getting ridiculous with what they're asking out there, and there's Adam just brought up one that's been on the
They're asking $15,000.
the Beckett or best offer.
Yeah, or best offer for $15,000.
So I thought I was doing pretty good, and I still think I was doing pretty good because I was getting paid $250 a card for what I had, So I got, I think I have one or two still in getting graded to PSA. Mr. Painter's got at least one, if not two, into PSA. So we'll see what they come back as, but that's one of those things that's just hard to predict. So I don't necessarily regret it because had I not sold them at that time and just sat on them, you never know.
And keep in mind there is a big difference between what people are asking and what things are sold for.
That's true too.
It's completely different, but looking at this, it does look legitimate that there was a Beckett 9.5 Rock rookie card sold for $4,999.
Well, good for them.
5 G's. We're not talking chump change here. We're talking we have no idea. Like, I don't know why, and I'm not going to question this. Like we always talk about it is why somebody's going to pay $35 for jelly beans. I don't care. I just send it to them.
And I'm still looking. I mean, it's still something I might be able to snag a few. It's a lot harder to source, and and there's other cards, there's other wrestling things that I'm on and looking for and always searching. So hopefully the trend continues because it's only going to help me down the road. I guess Adam and his fat stack of cards as well. So Adam, I need to bring up something though.
All right, what are you going to bring up with me? You got more beef with me?
No, I've aired my grievances. I just wanted to tell people kind of what's going on with popular items.
Okay.
These are what you might call bolos, but this is just kind of what's been trending with the whole COVID thing. And it's something that, we talk a lot of what we're selling, what we're doing, because that's what we're interested in. But I just kind of found this interesting. Kayaks.
Kayaks?
Kayaks are very popular. If you go to REI or any of those places, they're not keeping them in stock. So this would be more something that you'd be selling locally, probably. It'd be kind of hard to ship a kayak. Not saying it can't be done, but kayaks. I know outdoorsy things that people do solo that they can social distance but still get their exercise.
I do throw in the same thing. Bicycles. Bicycles are extremely hot right now.
But the hot ones are the e-bikes.
Yes, e-bikes.
Which Simon Cowell just broke his back. You hear about that one?
I saw something, but I didn't know until he broke his back.
He was on one of these e-bikes, and I don't know what he was popping wheelies or something, but fell off, broke his back. They had to, put some rods in there and stuff.
I wonder if he'll need a wheelchair. I wonder if he can.
He might need an extreme modus. He could be on America's Got Talent. You could come and push him around.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe you should reach out. That's something to get tweeting, buddy. He's stuck in the hospital.
That's a good thing. I appreciate it. I'm going to do that.
I think we should do that. But e-bikes are a big thing. Bikes in general. Trampolines.
Ooh, we've got one of those.
I think a lot of that's because kids are stuck at home. You want to go outside, get some exercise, or keyword for get out of my way and go entertain yourself for, 20, 30 minutes? How long is a trampoline session with kids nowadays?
It depends on how long you keep the door locked.
Just go outside. I think a lot of parents, especially mothers, are kind of, they're getting
I couldn't do it.
stir crazy, man.
I did it last Saturday all day, and it's the longest my wife's been away from our youngest son, who's 5 months old now. And it was great. It was fun. I enjoy it. I'm a father. That's my duties, but I could not do it every day.
Tents.
Okay.
Tents. People not being able to go on maybe their vacations or whatever, so they're doing a lot of the, going up into the woods.
I will say we double dipped on that. We slept in a tent on the trampoline, and I would not recommend it ever again.
Now, if you're over the age of probably 18, trampoline sleeping is
It is not.
your body isn't what you remember it being. The reason that it was fun when you were a kid is because your body would just bounce back into shape.
Yeah, you get to sleep on concrete when you're a kid.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You all slept to the bottom. Probably, I haven't slept on one for a long time, but
It was definitely hurt the old back.
that was probably one where you let the kids roll asleep or fall asleep and you roll off and go back to your room.
I will tell you that I have the greatest tent in the world.
What makes it so great?
It is a roll-up tent. It's in a large disc. I got one when I was a kid. I bought when I was 16 years old at Harbor Freight. I did everything I could. I paid for it myself. It was $25. I wanted it really, really bad, so I worked for it. I bought it, and it's full. It's one of those pop-up tents. You just undo the latch and you throw it up in the air, and it makes the whole tent. So that whole pain point of now tents are they're a lot easier to set up now. They realize that, because that was always the pain point, going to camping and setting up a tent, and it sucked. But now I can set up a tent in about 15 seconds.
Setting them up and pulling them down. Those are the two hardest.
That was always the worst. But I have a great tent, and I was able to find myself a newer one, so we also have that. So
And pools.
Pools.
This was something else when I was talking about drop shipping last week.
Drop shipping pools.
I was drop shipping pools at one point. The problem was a lot of them were freight, and they would go to people's houses and trying to direct that without saying it wasn't coming to me directly, or trying to tell the people how to get up.
That's difficult.
It was a little difficult, but the bigger, people are probably getting pools and stuff installed, but I'm talking more of the above ground.
Like the big ones that you have air that go in them, and it's like a 10 or 12 foot radius pool, and you can jump in them and stuff. That was one of my friends had one of those pools, and it was like the greatest thing in the world.
Well, again, with everything, I know we bring it up, but you have to think about what you're selling in and stuff. people aren't maybe comfortable going to the pools or with their kids going to the pools as much this summer, or they just want to cool off. They've been stuck in the house. They don't necessarily want to install a new pool,
No.
but they don't want a little kiddie pool either.
Yeah, you gotta have something in between.
So when you're outsourcing, when you're out thinking about things, I know me and Adam talk a lot about what we're doing with cards and stuff. But think about, recreational, they're saying like dumbbells.
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that a lot. People buying dumbbells.
Have your gym equipment.
You can't go to the gym anymore.
You can't, or you don't feel comfortable doing it. That's what people are saying. It doesn't matter what phase you're in. Some people just don't want to go back or feel comfortable going back either. And
Yeah.
instead of saying, well, that's right, that's wrong, or whatever, just make money off it.
That's the whole name of the game that we play, is make money out of
And
it.
there might be places that are a little less stringent or a little less hit where you can go buy dumbbells pretty cheap. Or you can go find pools or trampolines or whatever we're selling, right? And be able to flip that for a decent amount of money. And this is one of those things that's probably going to be trending for a couple
It
months.
sounds like it'll be trending for quite a while at least.
And take advantage of, make the hay while the sun's still shining.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
So I guess you could call those bolos. I don't know.
You said something, I want to bring up the freight shipping. Had an interesting experience with that, shipping the wheelchairs. We have a shipping company that we use, but it's always hard because they don't know exactly, when we get a quote, we don't know the exact address. We do, but the shipping company doesn't know like where their port is. This guy lived on Long Island. So we got charged to send it to New York, which is fine, it was like a couple $100. But then because it was in Long Island on further away, we got charged like another $250. So on those larger items, like with eBay, it makes it super, super simple. And again, I'm learning that process of how do you ship things the best way. And it takes time. You have to do it before you get to know the right answer to it.
I got something for you, Adam. I don't know if this works for your business or not, but it's something that I might have discovered throughout the years that.
What did you discover?
I thought I was hearing angelic music for a minute. Is somebody backing up?
Sirens. It's over at the Ace Hardware right next door to us.
Have you heard of? There's a U-Ship. Have you heard of U-Ship?
I have never heard of U-Ship.
So how U-Ship works is, say there's a guy like me or you that's industrious, that we like to go for roadies, or we got a Sprinter van that we need to take to Laramie, Wyoming, but we need to make some money along the way. It's kind of like an opposite of eBay. It's like you say, okay, I got this wheelchair and it has to go to Long Beach. And it starts off with people making bids on, oh, I can take that for you for $5,000.
Okay.
It has to go by Tuesday or whatever. So by Tuesday, people kind of bid a price until it comes to Tuesday and the winner gets your item, basically. So
Sounds like Uber/eBay mixed together.
it's kind of that. So some people have trailers, or they have bigger loads. They have the LTL type stuff where they don't have quite a truckload, but they're going across the country.
What did you call it? LTL?
LTL, less than a truckload.
I have
That's,
never heard that terminology.
Well, you didn't work in a truck stop growing up, and you're not a professional driver.
I do not share the same profession as Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt.
There's some guys out there in the big rigs right now shaking their head. They're like, oh yeah, I'm LTL freight.
I'm sorry, I've been educated. I appreciate it. I'm now woke to the terminology of shipping.
If nothing else, Adam's getting a good education. But no, you go on uship.com, and
Interesting. I like that idea.
it's more of like an Uber delivery instead of hiring a truck to do it. Which there's pros and cons. So that's an idea though for people. I know some people are like furniture buyers and shippers on eBay.
It all depends.
It all depends.
The bigger the items, the more it costs to ship.
What I would do is, if you have something like that, you can say local pickup, and then let them arrange the shipping. So they'll come and pick it up. You're done with your part, and they're paying for it to go cross country and arranging all the shipment or whatever.
There's a couple things we're looking into, but now we're starting to ship quite a few.
Well, the listeners, I know you and your wheelchair might be a whole different league, whole different ball of wax.
Hey, I like that ball of wax.
Is that like a wheelhouse?
I don't know the terminology for ball of wax, but I did just see a video that they took a watermelon and they dripped wax all over it, and they put the wick on the top, and they made a watermelon candle.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Useless information, but Dad brought it up.
There you go. Hey, we got some here's some hot items coming out. Q4,
Hot?
Q5. We're so hot it's Q5. But everyone needs to be aware of. I think most resellers know it. But there's this Xbox. There's a new Xbox coming out.
Xbox.
Consoles are always, they're always in demand when they're new. They're always hard to get.
I'm gonna lose some street cred here. I've never played an Xbox.
Adam's never played an Xbox. That makes them even more cool. Your kids want them even more if Adam's never done them.
That's
Never played it. Well, the new one's coming out, and traditionally they're hot anyways around Christmas and the holiday season. Like the Switch was almost impossible to get there for a while. Again, with the situation that we're in, Black Friday's not going to be nearly what it was with people crowded. If you get the new Xbox is coming out, there's a new PlayStation 5 is coming out.
Wow.
So they're going to be kind of head-to-head. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, if you're reselling, because some people are loyal to one side, some people, Coke or Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, people want the new one.
So, you were selling Nintendo Switches, and it's the hot market, and you always seem to be the guy. How did you acquire the ones that you got and then sold them?
I'd go to Walmart.
You'd go to Walmart.
I'd buy them from Walmart.
And were you using BrickSeek?
I did a little bit. It got to where I get me some moles. I get some moles inside that tell me when things get delivered, and then I go over and I buy them.
So you've made buddies with a couple of people at Walmart, and they'd say, "Hey, Derek, we just got some switches. Come get them."
I know people, but that's some of your local ones. But again, we have these rural places. We have these Walmarts, rural out in the middle of nowhere. So if you're willing to drive around and use BrickSeek, there's some few other tools. There's some other apps out there. Use it to find out what's in stock. I wouldn't recommend calling and asking, "Hey, how many of those new PlayStation 5s do you have in stock?"
Yeah.
"Oh, you got 4 of them? Okay, I'm on my way." Well, guess what? That guy's just called his buddy and said, "Hey, we got 4 of them. This guy's driving from clear up, 2 hours away. They must be hot. Come buy them."
Yeah.
So yeah, we got things like that. If you got kids that have friends that have jobs at these places, use whatever sources you have.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Maybe you go to church with people that manage these places, or you have other social interactions with these type of people that work at the Walmarts, that work at the Targets, that work at the GameStops. Sometimes you can sign up for pre-lists or things like that. Sometimes you just get in line and you get lucky.
You're doing the hard work to make the big dollars.
But the point of the story is, holiday season's coming up. Like I said last year, I'm kind of off today, Adam. Like I said last week, there's going to be some guilt. There's going to be some guilt with some parents and some things that people are going to be spending the money. And these things aren't necessarily cheap, but it's big Christmas
Parents
gifts.
are going to be spending money to get kids' affection back, right?
Or just, I don't know. How do you feel? You just want to give the kids the best things that you can give them, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people have had their kids, it's been hard. It's been rough on adults. It's been rough on everybody. So with the holidays coming up, it's been kind of a bummer of a year. They just wanted to go off. Maybe it's a new,
something different.
Maybe you just got a new check in the mail. Maybe you found a new job. I don't know. But grandma hasn't been able to come see you, her special little boy, and give you them kisses and pulling on your cheek. And Irene's going in with Uncle Frank. I don't know. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of money spent, and you're going to be the one making it if you get ready and start preparing now. You don't want to be coming here in a couple months and saying, "Oh, that new Xbox has been out for a couple weeks. I'm going to go buy one."
You need to be on top of it when it happens.
You go to the store, you go to the Walmart worker or whatever and say, "Do you have any Xboxes? I'd like to buy 3," and just watch them laugh at you. And just, so be on top of it now. And the things like we're talking about, the camping items, the outdoor items, the workout type, solo type equipment.
Certainly.
Now's the time. Fill the wagon.
You're giving us the information, so we're telling you right now, any outdoor recreational activities, any sports cards, whether that's baseball, basketball, football, soccer is a big, anything that you are interested in. If you were telling me, I don't. Am I gonna purge your secret if I get into telling people what other things you're getting into?
I can always edit it out.
Okay, that's true. Derek's finding himself another little niche of items. You gonna share it, or do I have to bring it up?
I guess you're gonna have to bring it up.
You said you were buying not comic book cards, but like rare.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like
I didn't know.
comic things.
I didn't know where you were going there.
You've got so many niches.
I thought you were going to say I was into women's underwear or something. I was just waiting for you to try to zing me. I don't know. Yeah, so, well, with cards, maybe we'll have to do another whole card talk here. We'll get Mr. Painter
But
in.
this isn't card talk. This is other activities.
This is cards. So there's cards of superheroes.
Ooh, superheroes.
And they're kind of a big deal. Before, when we had movies and stuff, those were the popular movies of the time. But you got like your Spider-Man or your Superman or your Batman. Everyone knows who these people are.
So you're
Even Adam knows.
You're telling me that I enjoy the Avengers and I enjoy all these things, that if I do things right, I can find these items and flip them and make money, is what you're telling me right now.
Well, a lot of these places also have cards, so I'm looking at like early, 60s Batman cards or first. So a lot of these places also have comic books, but if you want to get into the comic book business, it's long gone. Be able to get you a first issue of any of these.
Unreal.
Unreal. You're not just going to find one at a thrift store. You're not going to find one on Macari. But you can find early editions of these cards, which is kind of like the rookie card, so to speak, of Batman or Spider-Man or Superman. And I'm starting to buy up some of those. I'm going to get them graded. Not a lot of them are in good quality condition, but that's okay. It comes back with it. They're authentic. Here's the grade, the population, like me and Adam talked about previously. And yeah, I'm starting to get into that a little bit.
So I've got a question that brings up a good thing. Before I ended my buying spree, I bought a unique item that I'm getting ready for a gift for this summer, and essentially it's a sheet. It's not a card. It's something that's the same size as a piece of paper that I want to send in to kind of have authenticated that it is what they say it is. I know you sent in your Karl Malone magazine to Beckett. Would you say that's the best source?
Well, the reason I did that is because Beckett would encapsulate the.
And that's what I want.
They'd encapsulate it. You can go down. I mean, there's other companies that do it, but yeah, I mean, if you want to encapsulate it, does it have what are you trying to? Is it signatures you're trying to get authenticated?
No, it's not signatures. It's just
the documentation itself.
It's a document.
Yeah, I mean, we could look into it and find somebody that specializes in that, but there's probably somebody at Beckett or I think more with PSA would have to be signatures and that kind of thing. But I know the comic book companies, there's Nintendo video game gamer people that encapsulate and grade things, so it falls in different niches.
I've gotten into this because when you said that, it kind of switched to gear for me. A lot of the kind of like this local history. I think that's kind of one of the things we liked about it, as I told us, we're visiting the cemeteries, the monasteries, different things in the area that kind of piqued my interest. And there's a lot of older things, and I feel like our generation, a little older, coming up, like so those kind of things are cool. Like it's cool to have those kind of items now, and again, it's that same thing. They're turning into art.
Mm-hmm.
They're turning into this showcase, this piece that you can talk about it, because I feel like a lot of times, and like you were saying on a lot of these Zoom meetings, like your background is your background now. Like that's what basically...
That's your trapper keeper to the world.
Yeah, it shows kind of your personality, and again, it opens up doors for somebody to say, oh, Derek likes that, so do I. And then you can create it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it greases the wheels with a lot of things. Honestly, one of the things that I'm really planning on doing with a lot of these card items is I'm sending people thank yous. That's what I'll be doing is, I've asked them some information, I kind of find out about their favorite players, favorite teams, and I've gotten them a card so that I can now get it, graded, and now I'm sending it to them as a thank you. So that's one of the other things that I'm doing as part of my business.
Well, that's cool. That's something they'll hold on to and say, hey, he remembered that conversation. That went the extra mile, and it doesn't matter what it's graded necessarily. It's the thought that counts on something like that.
Yeah, especially, and it's a conversation starter, and it triggers people's memories, and
it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, and like I said, they might want to get into it, and it's a tax write-off for me.
And it's something which, chocolates are cool or whatever, but they're just going to eat them or throw out flour, whatever. This is something they're going to hold on to, and every time they look at it, think, oh, that's my tax guy.
All right, there you go.
Well, Adam, is that all I got?
We burned right through it, man. You must be looking forward to going to that dentist.
That's the thing. I gotta get to the dentist. I gotta go get drilled. But here's I'll throw this out here for next week, or maybe even followers on. I know the social media is always the joke. I found now that we got stores in our town.
Yes.
I've been able to go to the store. I've been able to find items on the shelf of the store. I've bought them for $3, and I've been selling them for $10. And I'm all out.
Just flipping.
Fall out. So I might share my secret source.
Derek also, when he got big into the candy items, I mean, I still have some jalapeno M&Ms that we don't even have listed, and I think I'm gonna eat them next week.
You get them listed.
I know, but that's like my favorite.
But think about how much cards that you could buy for one of those bags of M&Ms.
It's true, but I'm a glutton for, we don't have baseball, we're not gonna have football.
No, don't bring me down, Bruce.
Okay, you're right. I'm looking forward to some M&Ms. Speaking of, Christmas is coming up, supporting those clubs. Derek, what kind of, an item might you be looking for Christmas?
Well, Adam, I haven't really brought it up, but there's this Rocky Miami rookie card out there that, I've sold a couple I probably should have held on to if I could get my hands on something like that. I mean, it would just mean the world to me. Not only me, but the family,
I'll look into this.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few available. They might went up a little in price, but you can't put prices on memories.
You just can't. And with that being said, the prices on memories go through Granny's death pile, and he says, I don't mean to make light of it, but we're all going to die. We all have a pile of stuff. It's got to go somewhere.
Or go through somebody else's granny. It doesn't have to be your own.
Yeah, that's true. Or your aunt, or your grandma, your grandpa, your great uncle, your friend in your neighborhood. I will bring. There's a guy that I know here locally. He's always the guy that is helping other people, and he was helping them move stuff out of their storage unit. And he does that. He flips it on the internet.
Man, that's a smart man.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's not even a bad little side hustle to say. Put your sign down in the storage unit. Hey, I help move or whatever. And people always get down there and they have more than what they think. And like, what we can do with this? Hey, I'll take it off your hands for you.
That is a really good idea.
That's not bad if you got a little entrepreneurial spirit.
That is a good idea. Where were you at this when I was in my 20s? Back when you were bouncing around. I mean,
I was still thinking about that Taylor Hicks concert.
But let's be, at that moment in your life, like it was always kind of the running. Where is Derek working this week? I mean, because you were going through, you had a couple different agencies at that time that were using your services, correct?
They were using me.
Well, I hope that you can use some of this advice.
If I'd known, I'd have been buying Rocky Miami rookie cards.
Take some of this information, put it in your, make this a new part of your wheelhouse. Make it to where you can make some money, enjoy what you're doing, because there are two things in life that are certain, Derek.
That would be DeathPiles